Welcome to the Sleepy Hollows Nursing Home Short Induction Program. So all of you have recently been employed by Sleepy Hollows Nursing Home. Congratulations on your new job. And my name's Lisa, and I'm going to be taking you step by step through how to make a bed at Sleepy Hollows Nursing Home. Thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate your attendance, and thank you for wrangling Jackson over there. Now, hands up, who made their bed before coming to work today? Oh my goodness. So, thank you, Jackson. You made your bed this morning? Yeah? And who made their bed with the traditional hospital corners? Oh, Jackson did again. Well, I've got to say that I don't. I have succumbed to the delights of fitted sheets and quilts. However, in hospitals and nursing homes we still use traditional sheets and blankets. So bed making is a constant task in nursing homes, and the Sleepy Hollows nursing home is no exception. So as you can understand, it's a job that we have to do every day, repeatedly, so it's important that we know how to do it properly. And I'm sure that some of you who've worked in nursing homes before, like Michaela, will be able to make beds in their sleep. So I appreciate that you're being shown how to do something that you've already done before. So who's made a hospital type bed before with hospital corners? Oh yeah, Pat and Charlie. Oh, Jen hasn't. Okay. So the purpose of this learning session is to demonstrate bed making as you would at Sleepy Hollows Nursing Home, and this is a procedure specific to this nursing home. At the conclusion of this learning session, you'll be able to prepare a bed for bed making, make a bed, leave the bed ready for your client, and report any issues that you have with the bed or any damaged linen. I'm going to demonstrate the procedure for making a bed, and look, I'll do it as I would if I was making a bed for a client. And I'll do that without any specific explanation of the steps required. Then afterwards I'm going to demonstrate step by step, explaining as I go, and following this there'll be an opportunity for clarification if you've got any questions. And then you'll have an opportunity to practice making a bed, and we'll also discuss how to problem solve any specific scenarios. And you'll be given a workbook to complete as part of your orientation, and once you've completed that workbook it'll need to be handed to the registered nurse on duty. It's a compulsory part of your short induction program. But before we start, we've got some quick housekeeping. So first of all, work health and safety. As you would notice, our bed today is a makeshift bed that's provided on a dining table, because if we had done it here in my house it would mean that we would be making a bed low down to the ground, which is not good for your back. So we always need to be mindful while we are making beds to be careful of manual handling and to look after our backs. The toilets are through this way, so if you need to avail yourself of the facilities, please do at any time. Fire exits are here and there, and there's refreshments here, so please help yourself if you need anything during this time. So before we start, it's worth just having a talk about what we would do if we walk in and we discover that the bed's faulty. So what do you think are some problems that could happen with a hospital bed?
Brakes don't work?
Yes.
Bad legs on the bed.
Yep.
It's don't work.
Yep. So that's exactly right. We can have things like the brakes don't work, so the bed actually moves around while you're trying to make it. It also makes it a safety risk for our clients. The actual mechanism might mean that the bed can't go up and down, and if you've got a bed that's extremely high, it's dangerous for the clients. If you've got a bed that's extremely low, it's going to be poor work health safety for the staff. Now, what do you think we do if we discover that our bed isn't working? Any ideas? Well, yes, Jackson?
Panic.
Well, panic is an option, but really what we would do is we would go online, we'd complete an engineering and building services work form, which we attach to the bed. That lets everybody know not to use the bed. We pop that out into the corridor, we contact our orderly, ask them to take that to engineering and building service works. And then after we've done that, then obviously we need to ask the orderly to organise a replacement bed. Something else to think about is when we come to get our linen, it's not out of the realms of possibility that you go and grab a blanket and it's torn, or you get some sheets and they're soiled. Does anybody have an idea of what we do with damaged or soiled linen? No? Yes, Charlie?
Bin it and tell the orderly.
Well, what we actually do is we put it in a pink bag. It's a pink linen bag that is specially... Yes, Jackson? That's okay. We put it in a pink linen bag that is provided on the clean linen trolley, and those linen items are returned back to the linen service and are replaced free of charge. Okay. And any ideas as to why we don't fill our linen bags up to the top? You would have noticed around the Sleepy Hollows nursing home there's signs saying, please, only 2/3 full. Yes, Jenny?
Quite heavy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So lifting those linen bags is often quite difficult when we put them down a linen chute, and they can be quite heavy. And the other thing too is that we need to be aware of that when they go down the linen chute and actually end up in the linen room, they enter there with quite a lot of force. So if the bag is overly filled, the contents of the bag can end up spread across the dirty linen room. What do we need to think about when we're actually taking the linen off the bed prior to making it? Yes, Jackson? Not sure? Well, things to think about are to check the linen for any valuables, because it's not uncommon for somebody to have popped a watch underneath their pillow or something like that, and once they go out in the linen, it will be very difficult to retrieve them. Also, make sure only linen goes into the bag. Recently we've had incidences where entire meal trays, medications, dentures, hearing aids have all ended up down in the linen room. So you can imagine that it's not only does that make it dangerous for the staff that have to collect the linen, but it also means that people are losing their possessions. And so you'd really be surprised what we end up finding down in the linen room. Additionally, if it's particularly soiled linen, you're asked to remove the solids before you put them into the linen bag, because otherwise it's fairly unpleasant for the person that has to empty the linen bag at the other end. Alright, so I'm going to just do a demonstration at normal speed of how to make a bed. Bear in mind that normally for me the bed would be a little bit lower. We do it at hip height. And we've also got lovely flannelette sheets here, which we wouldn't have in the hospital or the nursing home. So as much as possible, we try not to flick our sheets. Okay, and there we have a bed made for our client. Obviously, we would lower the height of the bed so that the client could easily climb in. And we would make sure that anything that we had to move out of the way, like bedside tables, chairs, things like that, are placed back within easy reach. So now I've gone through the procedure of preparing a bed for bed making and making a bed. Are there any questions? No? No? Okay, so I'll just show you step by step. Sure you appreciate the car's blanket. Sorry?
It's a top blanket.
It's beautiful, isn't it? So first of all, when I come into the patient's area and I've stripped their bed, I've made sure that everything's out of the way. I've got the bed at the correct height. Then get my flat sheet. And it's just the traditional hospital corners where you tuck underneath, lift up over the top, tuck underneath and tuck again. And the same again. So go around and make sure that all four corners are done and that the bed's nice and tight. Then when we're applying the next sheet, we actually make sure that we've got more sheet towards the end of the bed. That keeps the bed covers tucked in, less likely to lift out when the patient or client is moving around. And it's the same process, tuck in, but we don't do the second tuck. So we lift up and tuck in, and then we just leave that down like that. Now obviously normally we would have a larger blanket. And we do the same thing, so make sure we've got a generous amount down the end. Tuck once and drop the corner down. Tuck once and drop that down. Bring your blanket up. Fold the sheet in back. And then with our pillow, traditionally the pillow opening always faces away from the door. Does anybody know why we do that?
No.
Do you know why?
Is it maybe because like when they're going, you can just like if they're going to they can straight go to bed?
Well, apparently historically it's supposed to come from the fact that when beds were or pillows were put in tents, that they had the opening away from the opening of the tent, so you were less likely to get creepy crawlies in. But I also think it's probably because it looks nicer. So as you come in the room, you haven't sort of got the messy end of the pillow slip. You've actually got the neat end of the pillow slip. That's probably more to the point. So that's the process of making the bed. which you can see is fairly simple, and it would be fairly similar to what you've done at other organisations that you've worked at. Now, I see a volunteer. Do you want to help, Michaela?
No.
Are you sure? Go on.
I always do it.
Do you?
Maybe.
And then once Charlie's done this, it'll actually be proof to Jen that Charlie knows how to make a bed, and she'll expect it to be done this way every morning.
Yeah, Charlie. Do it.
There we go.
Just without speaking or anything?
That's all right, you can do it. So just while Charlie's having fun at making our makeshift bed on the table, can we think of some issues that might arise when you're actually going to make a bed in a client's room? It's things like you might go in and they've got lots of clutter in their room. Now this is their space, it's their room. And so unlike maybe in hospital, you really can't take people's things and put them somewhere else. They're going to be where they want them to be. So you tuck this end in here, like this. Then you lift this up onto there to make a triangle. Tuck that in. Yep. Bring that down, then tuck that in. Beautiful. But he's doing it under pressure though, Mum, so take this one first. Yep. Then bring this up here, like that. Tuck. And then tuck it in. Beautiful. Other things that might be an issue, that the bed is broken, like we talked about, and that would be something where we would need to organise to get it repaired. You've got a non-compliant patient or client who simply doesn't want you to make their bed, or you've got a client who's in bed. So they're all things to think about. And later on during your orientation, we will actually practice making a bed with somebody in it. So that will give you a bit of an experience of what it's like. So what do you think you could do in a situation where you've got a client who refuses to climb out of the bed?
You just have to be a little bit forceful.
A bit firm? Absolutely. So
Or
Depending on their reason. A bit firm.
absolutely, it depends on their reason. So if you have somebody that is just tired because they haven't slept well,
a bit further.
then maybe you can negotiate and organise another time to come back. However, if you have a patient that's in a bed that's soiled, then it's something that you don't need to tuck it in the second time. That's okay, doesn't matter. You really do need to get that bed changed for patient safety. So you're going to have 2 days. So you've got today, and then you've got 2 supernumerary days where you're going to be in the nursing home practicing various tasks, and you'll have plenty of time to practice this skill. So it'll be important for each of you to go to the wards, identify yourself to the nursing staff working there, and explain to them that you want to practice your bed making skills. Good job, Charlie. And then ask if they can observe your bed making and if they can offer any suggestions. Nurses on the wards invariably have quicker ways of doing things than we would teach in the classroom. It's a bit hard with a short blanket, isn't it? And so bring this one back, on top. And this is the one job my boys hate.
And I can't do it.
Can't you?
That's a job my boys have.
Yes, yeah. It's something that's actually really quite hard to teach, I think. You just sort of need to just practice.
Shove it in.
That's fine. He can. So, following today's session, we'll actually have some beds that will be available for you to practice making beds with, and I'll stay here and you can address any concerns, ask any questions. Thank you very much, Charlie, for doing that. And let me know if there's any further details that you need. So today's learning session has been aimed to demonstrate and describe how the procedure for preparing and maintaining client beds at Sleepy Hollows Nursing Home is followed. We've talked about preparing a bed for bed making a bed, leaving a bed ready for occupancy, and also reporting damaged or faulty equipment, bed, mattress, pillows, all of those things to appropriate personnel. Now, following this session, you'll be provided with a feedback form, and it'd be terrific if you could fill that out for me. It always provides me with information on how I can improve my education sessions and make sure that I continuously improve my work. Thank you for participating in this learning session today. This is the first step of your short induction program for the Sleepy Hollows Nursing Home. Over the next few months, we'll be doing professional development days at Sleepy Hollows Nursing Home, and I look forward to meeting all of you again. Thank you very much.